Submitted for your approval, a portrait of Mario, Steve, and Sally, three tremendously talented, warm, and dedicated people who transport us weekly into another dimension. A dimension as vast as downtown Tampa and as timeless as Mayor Nucio. It is not the dimension of imagination, but of memories, and it lies between the pits of phosphate and the summit of Tampa City Hall. It is the middle ground between Al Lopez Field and Lowry Park, transcending West Tampa, Seminole Heights, Palma Sia, and Port Tampa. It is the sweet science of Ferdy Pacheco and the superstition of betting on the game of highline. It is the light of Tom McEwen and the shadow of John Kennedy at Fort Homer Hesterly Armory. This is an area known as the Tampa Native Zone.
I remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa, her sweet, soft memories, a city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. Yes, I remember Tampa, she remembers me.
Hello and welcome to the Tampa Native Show. Stay tuned now for the most entertaining webcast from the studios at Tampa Digital in Ybor City, Florida. Join your hosts Mario Nunez, Steve Canella, and the 15-Minute Girl as they celebrate growing up in Tampa. From Shock Armstrong to Shakey's Pizza, from Braddock Street to Buffalo Avenue. Get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. And now, Mario Nunez and Steve Canella.
She remembers me.
My name is Mario Nunez, and I'm seated alongside my broadcast partner.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Steve Canella. Thanks so much for being here. Hope you have your popcorn ready, because tonight we're going to the drive-in theater.
We're going to the drive-in theater. Just off camera there is our 15-minute girl. Say hello, darling.
Hello, Dora, and hello to all of you.
And tonight's going to be one special night. We've got so many things to cover. We're going to have to get busy right quick and get right into the meat of this show. Stevie, review a little bit going forward what we're going to be talking about tonight. As you can see, there's popcorn all over the table. We've got our mosquito coil here ready. That should be a giveaway. Stevie, tell them a little bit about what they can expect.
I think they may know a little bit already, but it's all about the drive-ins in Tampa, treasured memories that we all have, whether it was sneaking in the back or hiding in the trunk or what have you. Many, many memories, so we hope you get a lot of calls tonight, so be sure to call in. As you can see, the popcorn kind of spilled by accident, but we thought it looked kind of cool, so we left it there. But,
it did spill in pre-production.
And it's making me hungry, too. Cool. I know. But, you know, rumor has it. Rumor has it that, speaking of drive-ins, that the 15-Minute Girl and my co-host here actually went to a drive-in for the first time how many years? Last night.
It's 30-some boom, 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 some kind of years. I'm telling you, it was. Yeah, it was the most incredible experience, and we'd like to share it with you just about at the top of the show, because I think it's going to set up everything going forward. Just know that we have. It's been over 35 years that we had the opportunity to go to a drive-in theater. We made the decision to do a little research for our show, so we took it upon ourselves to find out that the Ruskin Family Drive-In Theater is still open for business down there on South 41, south of Big Bend, south of Gibsonton. And I tell you what, we got there last night about 20 minutes into the first feature. Now listen to this, $5 per person gets you 2 features. Last night it was Puss in Boots, followed by an intermission, and then beyond that, you had Moneyball with Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill. Better than the movies, I think, was the fact that we had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Ted, darling, the last name again? Freewald. I'm going to get this frog out of my throat before it's all over. Yeah, well, I'm desperately trying to get this frog out of my throat. Mr. Ted Freewald. Now, Mr. Freewald is, I guess you can qualify him as a Tampa treasure.
Yeah, definitely.
He's been in the drive-in movie business since the late 1940s. It's all this man has ever done. He was business partnered with Floyd Enterprises. For those of you that have been in Tampa long enough, you know that Floyd Enterprise operated many, many drive-ins from South Georgia all the way through the Tampa area and even south to Fort Myers, most notably the 20th Century Drive-In and the Funland Drive-In here in Tampa. So we pulled him out of his projection booth last night, and he was all too willing to engage us and give us just an insight as to a little bit of his history. We were so enthralled. We had some snacks at the snack bar, which was kind of cool. We took full advantage of the intermission, walked around the property, about 6.5 acres with a giant screen. The viewing is amazing, and he's still operating with the old equipment that has been in existence. Yeah, the old-time speakers are there, although you can also pipe the music in through your car stereo, but for full effect, we went ahead and brought in the speaker and hung it on the window. Darling, tell our viewers, our fans, a little bit about what you experienced last night at the Ruskin Theater.
It was just amazing. We hadn't been to the drive-in for so many years, and this was just like taking a walk back in time. Even the restrooms had the same tile that I remember from all the old drive-ins in Tampa, and it was a lot of fun. And Mr. Freewald
Yep.
Actually runs the projector, and he picks a child every night and lets them actually turn on the show, flip the switch, and start the movie, and it gives them a little certificate that they can take home with them to remember the event.
We
really
did.
fun.
No, and highly touching. I mean, it's a family-oriented drive-in. Stevie, you weren't there with us last night. We missed you, and I tell you what.
Well, I didn't want to be a third wheel.
Well, no, third wheels are perfect. Listen, you're part of the team. We had the experience there is no alcohol. No loud music. It's a family-centric drive-in. So they have strict rules that they abide by, and the nice part about it is the community is real. They embrace all of those rules because every night he's open 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, rain or shine, heat or cold. And a little insight for those of you that are out there watching, and we know all of you are, we're planning an event, a Tampa Natives event this Saturday to go back and patronize Mr. Freewald. His wife Karen will be there as well. And Ted and Karen, we're on our way back to see you. So look on your Facebook pages, everybody out there, because by tomorrow morning there'll be an event posted. We want everybody to join us. The 15-Minute Girl, myself, Steve.
So exciting.
I saw the movies last night, and we're going to go back and see them again on Saturday. So if you're out there and you'd like to join us, it's going to be a great night. Tampa Natives at the Ruskin Family Drive-In Theater. Stevie, we got to talk a little bit before we go to our first break, which is coming up rapidly. Yeah, about the Bolita drawing and the new way that folks, I'll let you handle this one, about the new way that folks can submit their Bolita numbers. Stevie, take that one away.
And I think Chuck will be putting up a picture pretty soon, but basically what you'll do now is if you go at 4 p.m., you can, here it is here from the webpage, click on, when you go to tampanativershow.com, click on Bolita Drawing at the top there, and here you can select your Bolita numbers for the evening. Now the clock starts ticking at 4 p.m., it ends at, I believe, 8:45.
8:45 when the 15-Minute Girl sings.
Right,
Yay.
and I think we have quite a few selections already made now as we
Quite
speak.
a few.
Okay,
Yes.
the 15-Minute Girl
Quite
can
a
monitor
few.
that.
About 14.
Nice.
Okay, well, we
very,
still have
very nice.
A lot of little spots are open, so please log on to the page and pick your numbers.
That's wonderful, Steve.
What's the prize for tonight?
Listen, well, we've got something very, very special
Very
to give
special.
away. It's a Tampa Natives T-shirt for our
Right.
Bolita drawing. Also, there's going to be an opportunity for you right there on that same page to find your sponsor of the week. We want you to submit your sponsor of the week, and of course, the question of the day. And the question of the day today is, Steve, we talked about it on the way over.
Well,
Give it to him.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'll set it up.
Yeah.
The genre that was arguably most popular when the drive-ins were at their zenith, circa 1950 through the early 60s, was
Westerns.
the
which
Western.
I loved. Old
was
Westerns.
was the
Oh, yeah.
Western. I think it was the quintessential. Can we say it was the quintessential feature
That's right.
presentation? So, in honor of that, the Western. Today's question of the day is Butch Cassidy or the Sundance Kid? Simply, listen, this is an unofficial poll, but we'd like to know. Paul Newman, Robert Redford. I mean, Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid.
Two heroes.
Two of the coolest guys ever doff a cowboy hat and a bowler, because I think it was Sundance that wore the bowler.
And coincidentally, my first drive-in theater movie, which was a 20th Century Drive-In, that was the movie. In fact, there was a Tarzan movie first. Second was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So,
Great movie.
what a
And of course,
coincidence,
you can't forget Catherine Ross, who was the female love
Gorgeous.
interest.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Catherine Ross was in that movie as well. So we've got a lot to do tonight.
Lot to cover.
You got And we want you to make sure that you interact also with the 15-minute girl who's hard by the computer right now. She's monitoring all that activity.
On Facebook.
Butch Cassidy of the
and
Subman's
webpage.
Kid. There's your
Yep.
question of the day.
There it is.
And she will be interacting with you as well. If you have any technical issues, we want to make sure that we get you the information so that you can make a call. If something's wrong with your image is freezing or your audio is a little bit askew, we have a number that we're going to flash up there on the screen in just a couple of minutes to let you know.
There it is.
Call in with your technical issues. We've got people standing by behind the magic door there that will take that call in real time and help you. We want to make sure that everybody watches and can hear perfectly tonight.
Right.
All right, now,
Exciting
today
news.
we also did something very, very special. For those of you that have been our fans for the longest time, you remember earlier this spring, Stevie, remember when we went to Bayside Bhangra?
Oh, I had a blast.
I'd
We
never
had a great
experienced Bayside Bhangra before.
First for me.
It is an Indian cultural event. It's a celebration of folkloric Indian dance.
Right.
The pageantry, the color, I guess you would call them the adornments or the
costumes?
well, you can call them costumes. The cultural dress that they wore,
Right.
amazing, amazing. Well, today we got invited to come out and be a part of a press release. Next weekend is going to be India Fest, which is the 24th in a row. Since 1986, they've been doing this here in the Tampa Bay area.
There it is.
The graphic is up. Take a good hard look at that. We are going to be there as well. The Tampa Native Show is participating. We are promoting this event because of a very special reason. You see, the chairman of the health fair that's going to be taking place, Dr. Deepak Shah, he told us today, no uncertain terms, that they're going to have no less than 50 or 60 doctors that are going to be there for a free health screening. Now, it's going to cost you $8 to get in, but that $8 will get you a complete free health screening. Let me tell you again that the operative term here is free, and they're going to be screening for hypertension, for bone density, especially for women that are postmenopausal, diabetes, asthma, those that have lung capacity issues, COPD comes to mind, and PAD, which is painful arterial disease. And all of this will be free. These doctors are going to be volunteering their time. So we know that in these day and ages, a lot of times we have issues with health care coverage. And for those of you that have been postponing any kind of screenings because you don't have the capability of doing it, here's going to be your opportunity to come participate. On top of that, you're going to hear song, you're going to hear music from Bollywood singers, and you're going to see the Bhangra dancers, and of course the food is going to be there.
And there was also vendors with beautiful jewelry and the native costumes, the most beautiful colors ever.
We saw that today, and we've got a little video, about a 2-minute clip that we want to show you now that's going to give you an opportunity to get a sampling of what you can expect. And we hope that each and every one of you will consider coming out there next week, the 12th, Saturday. Watch this.
Tampa Bay's India Festival has become one of the most popular Indian cultural events in the United States. India Festival was first hosted in 1988 at University of South Florida's Sundome.
But this year it seems great, and like a lot of people came. Like
every year it's getting better.
it's getting better.
Due to its ongoing success and continued growth of the Indian population in the U.S., many cities now host their own India Festival. However, none so far surpasses the magnitude of the Tampa Bay India Festival, which has become the tradition for the Indian community. Although the dances are the highlight, the variety of food, cultural items, as well as a wide array of fashion, clothing, and jewelry displayed by vendors attracts a wide cross-section of tourists and Americans alike.
going to be a fun event, huh?
No, just a quick
Can't wait.
follow-up to that. It's going to be at the Florida State Fairgrounds. Just know that your participation is encouraged, especially for those of you that really want to take advantage of that free health clinic. And thank you so much for Dr. Shaw and for the group inviting us there today. We were welcomed. It was wonderful. Stevie, you missed it. It was great food. But you went somewhere this morning, as did the 15-minute girl and I. We've been busy today.
Oh, yeah,
what did you do today at lunch, and who did you see?
Well, it was incredible again. Amaryllis, we had the Tampa Natives show special all day, every Wednesday, $4.99. Arroz blanco con huevos frito. I love saying that.
He loves to say that.
It's all I can say in Spanish, pretty much. But it's my favorite meal.
And he keeps saying it over and over.
And, but today it was great. We ran into several people here. It was Mark Michelson, right? And David Menendez, I sat at their table for a while. Keith Garcia, our good friend Oli Gonzalez, Nancy Clark. Yeah, it bounced. Julia Storch as well. And our very own Chuck Mann. How about that?
Our very own Chuck Mann, our very own producer.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, he's injecting himself into the Latin culture there and into the West Tampa community. And I'll tell you what, he's liking it, guys.
And you know what? Before long, he'll be saying Arroz blanco con
huevos frito.
Right.
And he'll be there every Wednesday. So we do that on Wednesdays. That's usually about 11:30 when we're all there together.
So
it's a nice,
come on out and
nice way to get together and
Right.
kind of in show prep for what we do this in the evenings. Now we've also got another announcement that we want to bring up. Do we want to go to pictures or do we want to go to announcements? I'm just curious. What do we want to do at this point?
Let's do a small little teaser here with some of the pictures. We got such incredible photos.
All right, let's
tonight.
do that. Let's do that.
Chuck, let's go ahead and bring up, if you can, picture number 0.
Not to be confused with picture number 1.
Okay, now check this out. Causeway, Auto Park Theater. How about that?
How about that?
And an interesting fact about this picture, too, it's kind of hard to see maybe from your screen there, but there's a note that says, admission for adults, 35 cents. Now, it's incredible, huh? 35 cents?
35 cents.
I don't even think you could get a candy bar now for 35
No,
cents.
I
you
spend
might
that
get a
before I
chiclet.
wake up in the morning.
You might get a chiclet for 35 cents and only one.
And another interesting little thing, it's right below the picture. It's kind of hard to read, but it says, every Saturday, Western Pictures, which is along our topic tonight.
Westerns?
Western Pictures for the kiddies and their daddies. But what about their mommies?
Mommies weren't. Apparently, they didn't care about the 6-shooters and riding horses.
And some of these photos are really hard to find. Big thanks to Dan Perez for his efforts this weekend, and also Johnny Sinchette. Now, this picture is from an old program from the 1954 New York Yankees and the Cincinnati Redlegs, before they were the Reds.
And where did they play, you think?
Al Lopez Field.
Oh, Al Lopez Field.
Yogi
Absolutely.
Berra was there at the game.
Absolutely.
Actually. But this little advertisement, notice it was called the Sundown Drive-In.
Sundown.
And it was on Hillsborough Avenue, 1 mile west of Del Mabry, but I don't remember that at all. Do you?
It might have been a little bit before our time. So what we're going to ask those people that are out there watching, we know you are, as you're taking notes, and of course taking that wild trip down memory lane with us as we speak, hey, if you remember these particular drive-ins that we're referencing here, and here's another one too, the Cypress Drive-In.
This
was at the
incredible.
corner of West Shore and Cypress, which later became the Austin Cinema,
Right.
and later
Right.
became the Lowe's. I mean, I grew up in that neighborhood. That's right next to Jefferson High School, the current Jefferson High School, and it was a little bit before my time. So look, you had those two theaters. You had the Hillsborough Theater and you had the Sundown Theater that were 1 mile each side, east and west of Dale Mabry. I don't remember the Sundown. And then you had also...
East Buffalo.
And look at the East
Look at
Buffalo. What was unique about the East Buffalo Theater?
Well, it says it at the very top, and I can't believe...
There were buffaloes?
Well,
No. It was on East Buffalo Avenue. Yeah.
Well, actually, it says for colored patrons.
Right. This was
Incredible,
during,
huh?
This was during the time, absolutely, of segregated theaters, and this was one that was for our African American families.
Exactly.
And it was on East Buffalo. So if anybody out there remembers any of these, especially these old ones, these treasured old ones, the Cypress, which was there, and what happened was, I guess this land must have ultimately become too valuable, and as a result, the properties were sold eventually, and other buildings were put up there. But at one time, would you say, Steve, it's safe to say that Tampa probably housed between 12 and 15 drive-ins?
Easy.
Yeah.
And that's a good point you made about the value of the land, because the actual drive-in area took up so much space or acreage
did, Right.
that the highest and best use was probably maybe like a shopping center.
I think
or
last
something
night,
else.
Multi-purpose.
Didn't Ted
6.5.
say it was, about
Right.
6.5 acres?
6.5, 6.5 acres in the rest. And you know, you look around and it's not a small area. 6.5 is a pretty good size. So, you know, some of these were even larger. The Hillsborough, I remember the Hillsborough was immense. The Hillsborough Drive-In, probably 200 cars in there at least. And drive-ins, it just went along hand in hand with our affinity and our affection and our love affair with the automobile.
Right.
So we had two things going for us, our automobiles and our movies. We combined them And of course, that brought us to the drive-in.
What a great mix.
And we've got our mosquito coil here just in case we need to fire this up if we see a mosquito flying around here. Question is, what were we thinking and our parents when we fired these mosquito coils up? Somewhere around June, July, when it was so hot. How did we not asphyxiate
in the car?
ourselves? In the car, absolutely in the car.
It was before poisonous things were in the world.
DDT and all kinds of other things. But I tell you what, you didn't have a mosquito in the car. You didn't have a mosquito in the car. Hey, there's our email address. Give them that email address, Steve, so we can get those emails going.
Please do. show@tampanatives.com. And also, by the way, I'd like to make a plea right now for any pictures you may have of any drive-in, but especially the 20th Century Drive-In. We've been having some hard time finding photos.
Of the 20th century.
Right, and I think it stopped in 1980.
Arguably the biggest drive-in in our area and one of the most highly attended. And it was the default drive-in in my area because I tell you what, I live not too far from there. So we used to go there. What great memories we have of going there. You know, with your brothers, your sisters, in the car with, you know, sometimes on Sunday nights you'd get there with your sleepy clothes on. Because for the second feature, you didn't necessarily watch the second feature. You went ahead and laid down in the back of the car and went to sleep. They took you home and put you to bed when you were a little guy.
And I think our best chance of finding a photo of that theater and other drive-ins is going to be someone whose father or uncle or relative worked at the theaters, you know, years ago, and may have a picture in their photo album somewhere in a closet up in the, you know, in the attic or wherever. But if you can, check around. We can definitely, we would definitely like to see those photos.
Okay, we'd love to see those photos. Darling, do you have anything
Photos?
there?
I don't have any photos.
No, but do you have some chat information?
There are tons of Bolita numbers. There's about 20 of them so far.
Nice.
And
It's going up.
we have lots of people chatting.
Okay.
And we're having fun.
And is the chat's going well?
Very well.
Excellent. Everybody's watching and listening?
Everybody's enjoying it.
Good. No problems with the feed. We're off and running. But hey, we've got our popcorn. Do you guys have yours ready?
Got your telephones ready?
I have
Got your
some
telephones ready? We'll go ahead and show you that phone number now. We'll give you that phone
We
number.
want to hear those stories. I know everybody has them.
And everybody's got them. And if you want to start dialing anytime now, Stevie, why don't you go ahead and give them that number? Do you remember the number committed to memory? Our monitor's jumping around a little bit here.
No, I do actually. It's
we have a twilight zone on the monitor.
I know. It's 526-0816-813, of course.
Operators are standing by. 526-0816.
Please call in. We'd love to hear from you. And I think, you know, Davey Menendez today at Alma Release, he said he was going to call in. So I hate to put him on the spot like that, but Davey, you can call in. Tell your story.
Here's your moment. In the meantime, if we want to go ahead and bring up a picture or two, we can continue with those pictures.
We've got some fascinating photos tonight.
There's one right there.
How about this? This is the Hillsborough Drive-In. Thanks again to Johnny Sanchez, Dan Perez. And now the picture after this, I remember this. This is actually on the corner of Himes and Hillsborough. About a block,
a great picture.
A block east, I believe.
Yep.
And we have a photo, believe it or not, coming up right behind this. I think, okay, this is the actual...
this is the screen.
The screen area.
This is the other side of that photo you were just looking at.
Right.
And look at how big. Look at how big that area is.
That's a lot of land.
Yeah,
it's an apartment complex now.
It's an apartment complex before, and of course in the front of that is where they built the Hillsborough Theater.
Right.
The Hillsborough Theater, the walk-in theater, which this still was there at that time. Then this, for a period of time in the 70s, early 80s, became like a flea market on Sundays.
Right, you're right.
Weekends.
Good memory.
And then ultimately, the land was sold.
This photo here, this is the one sent from Johnny Sanchez. Very rare photo. This is the refreshment and snack bar at the Hillsborough Drive-In. And you know, I used to go there too when I was
Oh, we all did.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that picture though.
We all did.
The snack bar.
Of course, our default was a 20th Century Drive-In, and you know, for a lot of us kids, the challenge, the decision was during the intermission: did you go to the concession stand or did you go to the playground first? And well, probably a little bit of both. You went to the playground, got sweaty, got thirsty.
True.
You got your Coke, and then went back to the car.
And how many people brought their own snacks? You know?
Well, of course,
Yeah.
your popcorn, you brought it in the car with you.
Well, one of our listeners right now is
Yes.
talking on the chat, and he said they used to stop at Biff Burgers and get hamburgers
There you go.
and tater tots.
Well, there you
Get
go.
out of
And then
town.
go to the 20th
Good thinking.
century.
20th Century, because the Biff Burger was like in the parking lot, in the entrance to on the way in to the, you know, and after school, or you know, any time in the afternoon. And Biff Burger, if I remember correctly, we've talked about this
Florida
before.
Avenue, right?
There was one and there was one also on Southdale Maybe in front of Plant High School for a while. Do you remember what the Biff in Biff Burger stood for?
I do.
Go ahead, give it to him, Stevie.
Okay, best in fast food.
How about that? Best in.
Pretty cool.
I thought Biff was somebody's proper name.
Me too.
But it's
Biff
Or
Burger.
a shortcut. Yeah.
best in, and what I remember about those burgers, they used to put the bun on the grill, so it kind of got a little bit crunchy on the underside.
Yeah.
The milkshakes were tremendous, and tater tots. Biff Burger was the only place that had tater tots. All right, let's talk a little bit about the 20th century.
This is the one we really want some photos on this.
Yeah,
so
and if
have them,
anybody
please.
listen, we know that everybody didn't have a camera back then. We know that. Look, Steve, look at this ad right here.
Oh, look at this.
We know that everybody didn't have a camera back then, but
Now see the very upper left of this picture, you have the marquee for 20th century. That's about as close as we've gotten to a picture of the marquee, and there was two of them actually.
Yes.
One on Columbus and one on down Mabry, right in front of where the gold triangle.
Yes.
Not to be mistaken by a golden triangle, but
Yes.
gold triangle.
right.
But if anyone has any of those photos, please send them. Look on the right, beneath the Planet of the Apes. That brings back some memories, huh?
Great movies.
Love Story.
Great movie. Academy Award-winning movie.
But
Ally McGraw and Ryan O'Neal.
amazing photo. And there's some points, little fun facts you might say about the 20th century.
There's a projection
That's
room.
you know what that is? This was called the 12-phase rectifier.
Excuse me? What was that again?
The 12
That almost
12-phase
sounds like something you don't want to see coming at you.
Well, it's a 12-phase rectifier, and because of that, it rectified the screen to the point where
I bet it did.
it projected pictures on a screen in excess of 110 feet wide. So it actually took the drive-in screens from a more narrow screen to over 110 feet wide.
Kind of what we have now with our DVDs, where we have widescreen.
Absolutely.
Adapting to the widescreen.
Absolutely. And we have a couple more pictures here of the 20th century as well. Hey, a couple little fun facts about the 20th century.
Give them to us.
All right, here we go.
Wasn't it one of the largest ones, Stevie? Did I steal your thunder?
That's
right
one of
there?
them.
Okay,
That's one of them.
sorry.
Okay. So 20th Century Drive-In opened with 4 nights of fanfare in 1952 and closed in 1980.
1952.
How about that? How about that?
Pretty good run. 28 years.
Oh, we got a caller on the line. Let's take the caller.
Let's go to that caller
We'll
right
go back
away.
to the fun facts later.
Give him that call out, Stevie.
Rose Durant.
Hey, Rose Durant. So
Hey.
good to hear from you.
She's back.
I know. Well, y'all went all that new tech stuff.
Oh, well, hello. Stepping on up. That's a
and
great
with
moment.
Steve, I Facebooked and stuff, and what I wanted to say is, we went to the Funland a couple of weeks ago
Oh, cool.
to watch the dolphin tail. I hadn't been there since probably 1990 because, just wasn't really comfortable with the area. I'm going to tell you how nice, clean, secure everything is there. But when I was a kid, my father worked for Atlantic Coastline, the railroad. He worked 40 years. And do you know the old, the little train thing that used to go around in there in the playground? Well, do you know that a lot of people don't know this? The Atlantic Coastline rail people that work, the yard foremans, the engineers and stuff, they got a few people. They're the ones that built that for the kids.
That's really
That's
cool.
neat.
Good fact.
That's
That's a-
neat.
that's a-
that I think, Rose, is indicative of that time in our lives when, we were talking about it before we went on the air. Most of these drive-in theaters had playgrounds. Now, the early 50s, the playground equipment was much like we remember in elementary school. And the teeter-totters were steel and wood. And that little thing that went around, the merry-go-round deal, was also heavy steel. The swings were chains, heavy steel structure, and a wood seat. They weren't very comfortable, and if you fell off or if you bumped your head, you probably could hurt yourself. But you know what? We were thankful that they put something there for us kids to play on. Now, today...
Exactly. And I was there when a kid, a little boy, he did hurt himself. And you know what? All the parents came around, helped the little kid. He cried a lot, blah, blah, blah. He had a cut on his leg. I don't know. Back then, maybe he should have went to the hospital. But, the drive-in nowadays over there, they have four screens.
Four screens, that's right.
And we went to see Dolphin Tail, which is a big Tampa thing that helped us. And we just had a lot of fun. Took our own popcorn. Took some iced tea and 3 beers. But other than that.
Pretty good cast in that movie. Listen, we are. You may have heard this or may not have heard this at the top of the show, but we're going to have an event this Saturday. A group of us, and hopefully you can come with us. Y'all come. We're going to go down to the Ruskin Drive-In Family Drive-In Theater on Saturday, and we're going to go watch the double feature. So make sure that if you're free, check on the Facebook page because we're going to make that event this weekend. So if you're free, come on down. It's $5 a person. You can't beat it.
We'll send her an
Sounds
invite.
great.
Yeah, we'll send you a personal invitation.
We'll do that.
I did try to put in my Believe numbers. Could not find the gold box, whatever. So I don't know if y'all got my number.
Go online.
15-minute girl,
Go online. Click on whichever number you want to after you hit the Belita drawing tab, because everybody now, we've got to get everybody used to going online and doing.
I don't see you on the list.
Don't see.
No.
Well, I'll put her down and we'll Give me the number, Rose.
Well, we'll figure it out. Well, Debbie won at number 17, and I won at number 13, but I don't know how that works.
All right.
13 is taken, but 17 is open.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
17.
well, then I'll take 31.
31. 31 open, darling?
All right.
Try to go back in there, though,
Yeah,
Rose.
'cause we'll have two winners.
Yeah, try to go back in there and click on that
31
little
is
button.
taken.
31's taken as well?
It's filling up fast.
Yeah, it's filling up fast. See,
Well, how about this? Why don't Sally pick a number for me, and I'll be a winner?
well, you've got to go in because you've got to enter your name and your email address. So just play. We've got a few more minutes. Listen,
There's time.
we've got time to do that. So go on there and
click on Bolita Drawing.
and click on Bolita Drawing and have fun with that. Play with it until
All
it
right.
works.
Great, you guys. Thank you very much, and have a nice night.
Good to hear
Thank
from
you, Rose. Great
Bye,
to hear from
Rose.
you.
Glad she called.
Wonderful. Listen, we've got a little break coming up here. We're going to be back after just a couple of minutes. We're going to hear from Mr. Larman and Larman from Mr. Larman. We're not going to hear from Mr. Larman. We're going to hear from Mr. Calameres at Larman Furniture. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break in 2 and 2. Stay tuned. Hi, everybody. Mario Nunez here, co-host of the Tampa Native Show. We're sitting here in the showroom of Larman Furniture, established in 1931. This year, about to celebrate its 80th anniversary. And I'd like to introduce to you at this time Jimmy Calameres. Jimmy is the owner of Larman Furniture and member of the family for a long time. And we'd like to say thank you, Jimmy. And how are you today?
Thank you. Fine. Doing wonderful.
Doing good?
Yeah.
Why don't you take a minute and maybe tell some of the folks that haven't heard the story a little bit about Larman Furniture.
Well, Larman was started in 1931 with my wife's grandfather, and he and a partner was called Friday Larman.
Okay.
Initially, and then
Mr. Friday was the other gentleman?
Mr. Friday was the other gentleman.
Okay.
And then in, I believe it was 1955, Mr. Friday wanted to get out, and then that's when my father-in-law, Curtis Larman, got in the business and bought his share out, and they had the business until my wife's grandfather wanted to get out.
Sure.
His name
At
was
some point, everybody tries
Yeah,
to get out
yeah.
at some point.
So, and then once he got involved, Curtis Larman got involved, the business started growing, and because they had their hard times. They started during the Depression,
Of course, 31.
So, and then once my father-in-law got involved, he grew it, and then my sister-in-law Cheryl had gotten involved. And then 5 years later is when I was asked to see if I wanted to join the company, and 20 years later, you know.
What a wonderful family legacy. So once again, Jimmy, let me just say on behalf of the Tampa Native Show and all of our fans, thank you so much to you and to the Larman family for stepping up and being one of our first sponsors here in this this new show with Tampa Digital. Thank you so much.
Mario, thank you. We're excited about it. Whether you're a Tampa business or doing business in Tampa, we just thought it was a natural fit. We're Tampa natives, and we're just excited to be part of this wonderful sponsorship, and we look forward to the relationship.
Thank you again. So for Jimmy Calameres, this is Mario Nunez sitting inside the lovely showroom of Larman Furniture. Been here since 1931, celebrating this year 80 years in business. Talk about Tampa natives. So on behalf, again, of the Tampa Native Show, this is Mario Nunez saying salute and happy days.
We have a caller on the air.
Let's go to that call.
Let's do it. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, sir. Good evening. This is Hugh from South Tampa.
Oh, Hugh.
Well,
Love you, Hugh.
Mr. Perez.
What'd you think?
You know, I was a minute late, so I'm going to need to see it on archive. I was a minute late getting
Oh,
this
darn.
show, but I'll catch
Well, you
it.
can catch it on the replay.
And the 1 minute was all yours, Papa.
Pardon?
That 1 minute was all yours. That 1 minute you missed. But listen, the good news is the A-Team will have it up on the website in probably 48 hours, if not less. So you'll be able to watch it. It came out really nice.
Great job.
Really
on that.
nice. Thank you for that, Hugh. And for those that are watching out there and listening to Mr. Hugh Perret, that was his wonderful voiceover that paid tribute to Rod Serling in The Twilight Zone.
Great job, Hugh.
He does great impersonations.
Thank you very much. I really enjoy the show. It's wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, tell us what you remember about drive-ins.
Your voice is breaking up a little bit. What did you say?
Tell us what you remember about drive-ins.
Well, my favorite and my family's favorite when I was growing up was the 20th century.
Yes.
And my fondest memory of the concessions was the Pizza Parlor pizza. I had my first taste of Pizza Parlor pizza at that drive-in, you know?
Yeah.
And it was delicious. But it was a great drive-in. I mean, remember all the old movies like Vertigo and North by Northwest and
North by Northwest.
Alfred
Great
Hitchcock
movie.
classics. How about Dusk to Dawn? Anybody remember the Dusk to Dawn features where they would play them almost all night? You know, and you could stay there for one price and you know, fall asleep probably about 3 in the morning. But I mean, the projectionist kept going, and it was pretty cool. Dusk to Dawn was the feature.
Yeah, now that we'd come, you know, my parents would take a friend of mine or two, and we'd end up sleeping in the back seat after the first movie, you know.
Yeah, you got your shower before you got there. You went in your jammies, but half the time you convinced your parents you wanted to go outside. This is the little ones now. You were probably a little bit bigger at the time, but the little ones, we'd run outside, get all sweaty, fall asleep, and never get that second shower. You know, it'd be like you have to go to bed all sweaty with your jammies. But what a great memories. You take your pillow with you. Remember, the station wagons were a pretty popular vehicle back then. So the cool thing was when you backed it up, and you rolled down that back window and you dropped that tailgate, everybody's laying down watching the movie.
Man, those are great times.
Hey, if you're free and you got a vehicle, and I know you do, you drive to work every day, come out and join us on Saturday. We're going out there to Ruskin Drive-In Theater. Come out there and join us.
I will see. I'll see. Maybe I can.
Very good, Hugh. Thanks. Thanks as always for calling.
Okay, thanks a lot. I'm having a little bit of hard time hearing you. It's kind of breaking up on the phone there. So
Is it okay? I may need to talk slower.
Yeah.
You think that's it?
Thanks, Hugh.
Thank you, Hugh.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
You bet. Bye-bye now.
What a great
we
guy.
didn't get his Bolito number, but I'm trying to train myself to not ask for it because we got to try to train you guys to go now to our webpage.
It's so easy to do that.
You have to learn a new trick.
We've been doing that for a year.
It's super easy to do it online, and we have to remember not to encourage you to give it to us. So go online. We got 75 numbers there. It's a click of the button, click of the mouse, and then you put your information in there, your email address, your first name and last name, boom.
Simple.
I think it even asks you if it wants you to remember me. And I think that might be so that if you get in there next week, click your number first, it remembers that's you.
We know what's going to happen. Joe Beanie's going to be the first one. He's going to be 3:59. He'll be logging on. To get his number 13.
I haven't seen Joe on today.
Well, the number 3 was already taken, and if it's not Joe Abini, I don't know who it is. Caller. We got another caller. We knew this was going to happen. Here come the callers. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Well, this is Tanya Fernandez.
Hey, Tanya, how are you?
Good, good.
Good to hear from her.
Loved the 20th century.
Yeah.
Oh, so did I.
And there was a special reason why you loved it. Go ahead and tell everybody.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
And there's a special reason why you loved it. Go ahead and tell everybody.
Okay, well, I had my godfather, Mario Hernandez, was the manager.
Oh, there you go.
What a great hookup.
And my current husband and I, before married, boyfriend and girlfriend, we used to go there, you know, whenever we could. And the great thing was we got in free, and we got pizza and sodas.
How about that?
What a great deal.
Tanya, do you have any photos at all of the 20th century?
You know that I do not think I have any. It's a shame. I actually his son and wife and granddaughter live here in the Brandon area, and I haven't talked to them in quite a while, but I could ask because I imagine they must have.
I'm sure they do.
Tanya, could you do us a huge favor and perhaps reach out to them, because we have a sneaky suspicion that this hour is going to go by so fast. We are going to give everybody tonight, especially after we roll the closing credits, a few extra minutes. So don't go away just because we roll the closing credits. We're going to come back and give you at least another 10, 15 minutes. Bonus for our web viewers, and this will be a continued pattern even when we go over to the TV side. But we want you to make that call for us, Tanya, if you could, because, you know, of course, my family knew Mr. Mario Hernandez very well as well. So there were a lot of times when I remember my father handing money to him and then him handing it right back to us, and then just us getting the opportunity to go in there for free as well.
That's
so
fun.
Yeah, it was a cool place, man. And yes, it's an apartment complex. After they shut it down.
Yeah, Cooper's Pond or something crazy like that. Do you remember the kiddie playground area where it was located?
You know, I really don't. I don't know why I don't remember that.
It was on the north side, as I recall. If I'm wrong, somebody out there, please correct me. It was on the north side of the concession stand. The concession stand, of course, faced the screen, which was in the back. and it was
Right,
on the
the-
north
the-
side
the
towards
screen-
Columbus.
Remember that?
Yeah, the back of the screen was right on Himes and Beach.
Correct.
Right where my husband lived.
Of course. I mean, how close you can jump the fence?
Caddy
Listen,
corner. Yep.
last night, what we looking around when I stood in the parking lot and kind of took it all in. As you looked around, you remember those real tall punk trees that used to line the 20th century?
Yes.
Those same trees
they
are
were
there
there.
in Ruskin, and it's such a visual reminder of
Flashback.
what we remember that it was just amazing to be there last night. Hey, if you and Captain Fernandez are free on Saturday, we would love to have you join us. I know where you live, so it's not too.
We won't. I can't promise you much because I believe we're driving to Gainesville for the game.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
Don't know what time we'll get back. Probably won't make it. But I have been there, and I actually work in Ruskin, so I do see it every once in a while.
But we'll have this. This will be the first of several events down there before the weather gets. Now is the perfect time to go in there and watch the movies. Because you can set your lawn chair out in front of the car and get a blanket and just kind of.
Right, and it's nice, and you won't be eating all up. But you can also take your citronella.
Yeah, but we have our mosquito coil just in case we need it, so we're prepared here.
Those coils were stinky.
Weren't they, though?
Mm-hmm.
Made your eyes burn, and you couldn't hardly breathe too much. But hell, you didn't have a mosquito biting you.
But
Couldn't breathe too good.
No, you couldn't breathe.
It was all good.
We used to chase the mosquito trucks anyway, So
Yeah.
Yes,
we're used to it.
Tanya, did you get online and log in your Bolita number?
I did get online and did it. Now it didn't tell me if it was taken, but I guess it wouldn't have taken it if.
That's correct.
Okay.
Your cursor will go to an arrow and won't let you. But if you get the finger, so to speak.
It's number 12.
Okay.
And by the way, Robert Redford was my choice.
Well, there you go.
My choice too.
There you go.
Anytime.
That would be Butch.
Even now.
That would be
Very
Butch
handsome.
Cassidy. Yeah.
Cassidy. I don't know why. I couldn't remember either. Some people were asking online, and I was like, I can't remember.
Sundance. No, actually,
The other way around.
Robert Redford. Let me correct myself. Robert Redford was the Sundance Kid. Butch Cassidy was Paul Newman.
right.
So you're talking about Sundance.
I'm talking about Sundance.
Yeah. And those two actors arguably were at the height of their career when that movie came out.
Absolutely. Just always, Redford was more my type.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We got a Redford fan. Thank you for your call, Tanya. We really appreciate it.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Tanya.
Thanks.
Gentlemen?
Yes.
I believe it's time for a song.
It's that
okay.
song time again?
Again?
We're so glad we had this time together just to share a laugh or sing a song. But there's only 15 minutes left to go, boys. So you better move the show along.
That
Very good.
15-minute girl, she got us again.
Got us every time.
Yeah, she gets us every time.
You know what? I thought she was early. Because I can't believe it's already been 45 minutes.
It has.
Where's the time gone?
Where is the time going?
You know what, Mara? We may have to do a second show on the drive-ins because we got too much
We got
ground
too
to
much.
cover.
Listen, we
and not have time.
We got to do a Bolita drawing here in just a couple of
got a lot
minutes.
of
We
things
got
to
fun
do.
facts from the 20th Century Drive-In. I know you worked so hard,
I'm
Steve, on
dying to
these
read
fun facts.
facts.
Chuck, can
we
we
have more
read these fun
pictures?
facts? Read the fun facts
Let's
real
read the
quick.
fun facts.
Read the fun facts real quick. And don't worry about those pictures out there, guys, because we'll just have to do that in
We'll
the
do it
bonus
again.
round or possibly even in next week's show.
I've been dying to get these fun facts out.
Come on,
anyway,
get them
so-
out there, Steve. You worked so hard on this.
Well, here's the next one. The only drive-in, and we're talking about the 20th century, the only drive-in in Tampa with a giant CinemaScope screen. It was super wide, largest in town, which we talked about earlier. The only drive-in, 20th century, with 2 separate entrances and 2 marquees. Also, the 20th century was the only drive-in with 2 playgrounds. Did you know there's 2 playgrounds?
I knew there was one. Now, there had to be, if they had 2 entrances, why wouldn't they have had 2 playgrounds?
Well, I guess good point. But one was at the front of the concession building for the smaller children, and another was at the rear of the building for the bigger kids.
Oh, that makes sense. Then that's where the second one was.
That's right.
The second one was on the north side, and they probably flanked the concession stand on both sides. And you know what? Hugh made a comment about the pizza there. That's what I remember more than anything else. The pizza.
I didn't know it was Pizza Parlor Pizza though.
Yeah, well, that's why it was so good, because it was the Pizza Parlor Pizza. Wow, that's good. We have a caller on the line. Let's go to that caller real quick. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is Big Mike from Orlando, man.
Hey, Big Mike.
Not Big Pumpkin this week.
Big Mike, did you get a chance to click on your bolita drawing number?
I did, you know what, but I did it on the, when I'm watching the screen, I put it in there. I didn't put it in the bolita number thing, whatever.
Yeah, good. That's the way you do it now. Because going forward, that's the way we've got to get everybody used to that. But that's great. What say you about the drive-in theaters?
You know, I don't know. I couldn't understand what you said, but
I got to talk slower.
I'm only kidding. I got the great show. You know what? I'm looking at the screen over here, and everybody's like, "Can you hear me?"
Yeah,
perfectly.
I hear you fine.
Okay, good. Look at the screen over here. Everybody's chiming in tonight, man. Very, very excited. I got to tell you, I remember those mosquito coils we talked about a little bit earlier, but wow. You know, you dropped the glove box door, you stick mosquito coils on there. Of course, man, you know, smoke it up, but I'll tell you what, it worked.
It did the
job.
job.
It did.
Yeah.
It worked. It worked. You didn't have any mosquitoes. And when you got home, your clothes smelled like the mosquito coil. But no mosquitoes in that car.
Yeah, what? You know, you needed a bunch of those, especially if you went to the one down by Hooker's Point down there across from the Seabreeze.
Yes, that was
Auto Park.
Auto Park.
Right.
Auto Park.
You remember that?
Well, you know why that was? That was next to a swamp.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a story that they had to actually check the bathrooms before they went in there first because there was water moccasins that would go in there.
Wow.
From the swamp.
Fantastic.
And tons of mosquitoes.
Man, forget about it. 20th century was me, brother, all the way. And that Biff Burger, it was a Biff Burger, it was on Del Mabry, and it had a playground behind it. And I got 8mm film of like my sister's birthday party there, me going down the slide, getting stuck, and you know, that's funny as hell. But remember, do you remember that one?
We also remember too. We heard there's your mosquito coil, Mike, just for you. There's. We're gonna light it next week, okay? We're gonna light it next week, and
Outside, we're going to light it.
outside.
Maybe Saturday.
Mike, here's a trivia question for you. If you can hear me pretty good, as this mosquito coil burned, what color did it turn?
Damn, I can't hear nothing. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, don't worry. I'll speak up and I'll speak louder. As the mosquito coil burned, what color did it turn?
You know what? I don't know. We scraped up the ashes, threw them out the window because if you put that in the glove box door, it had things for the sodas to set on.
Right.
So either you get eaten up by mosquitoes while you're drinking your soda, or no, or you set your sodas down and get eaten up by mosquitoes. I don't know. It was a tough decision, but you remember that? You had the little rings in the glove box door where you could set your sodas on.
Yep. But, and it would turn black, and then it would just kind of fall off. The ash would fall off.
Yeah, you know, they worked pretty good, though, you know?
They did work good. They did work absolutely good. Hey, how much time we got left? Because we got to get to our bolita drawing here pretty quick.
That's right. We're getting close. Wow.
Okay, 4 minutes. 4 minutes. So let's go ahead and do the bolita drawing right now because we've got other things. Mike, we love you, Big Mike. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye, Mike.
Always good to hear from you.
Come see us. We miss you.
I think he's back. He's gone. Okay.
Thanks, Mike. All right, here we go.
Now, Marty, can you open the bag this time?
Magic oh, of course I can open the bag. But
hey, perfect.
Darling, do you have your numbers available?
I have my numbers.
Okay, here we go.
Right, here we go.
Reach down
Stevie,
into
hold,
the middle
hold,
of the
yep,
bag.
Hold it right there.
That one.
Camera 2. Look right into camera 2, right there.
This is 61.
61,
okay,
darling.
61. Let's see what we got here.
Whatever the next number is, just under 61.
Closest to without going over.
Hold on.
Okay, you got it.
58.
58?
58, Lisette Gonzalez.
Lisette Gonzalez! Lisette Gonzalez! That's a first time winner for Lisette. All right, Lisette. Tell her what she's won, Johnny. Here's what she's won. Do we have sponsors of the week on there as well? Did we get our sponsors of the week answer?
No.
Oh, not on the website. Okay, well, we'll get that up next week. And we'll go to camera 2. There, Lisette, you've got a brand new Tampa native shirt coming your way. Just like that. How about that? Looking pretty good. Can we meet you up there at Amaryllis maybe on a Wednesday? We'll get it to you. If not, we'll leave it there. And you and Isaac can go by there and pick it up anytime you're ready.
And have some arroz blanco con huevos fritos.
Huevos fritos. Now look, we're going to be having to wrap this show up here in just a couple of minutes. But we're going to be bonus time for you. So do not go away. Stay there, and we're going to take some more calls as well. So, you know, we don't want you to. Well, we've got another caller. We got a couple of minutes. Just make sure you keep me on time for that closing. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Jim Carney. I was once president of Jesuit High School senior class in 1975, and I'm proud to be on the air.
Wow.
And have a unique story.
Cool.
About the 20th Century Drive-In Theater that you mentioned earlier was co-operated by your buddy.
Yes.
Back about 13 years old, I got my first stereo and became an avid devotee of that first Woodstock album.
Mm-hmm.
Brought it in, played the parts the nuns didn't want to hear, heard "My Anger Will Hurt You." Just went rock and roll crazy. And when the movie finally got to town, it came to the 20th Century, which was our regular neighborhood theater. And I had no way to get there because it was rated R, and I was too young. But I have a very cool mother.
Cool. Neat story.
And so picture me in an old beat-up Chevy from the 60s, in the early 70s now, at the Woodstock movie. I'm at the driver's seat. My little girlfriend is in the middle, and there's my mom in the passenger seat, being as cool as she can be. Wow, I had the time of my life listening to Santana and Jimi Hendrix and Richie Havens.
That is a good story.
That is great.
Jim, you've called the show before because I remember your name, and you're good buddies, if I'm not mistaken, with Mike Maluha, correct?
That broke up. Could you repeat it? Just the.
I will. You've called the show before because we remember your name, and 75 Jesuit, you're a contemporary, you're a buddy with Mike Baluha, correct? You're Mike Baluha's bud?
Mike Baluha turned me on to the Tampa natives, and I was avoiding, as y'all were referring on TV toward the end of last season, to this particular social networking site.
Yes.
But the Tampa natives dragged me in.
Oh, good.
Wonderful.
That's
Well,
good.
we're
So
glad
glad.
you're here. And listen, you call us anytime.
Absolutely.
We'll be here every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Thanks so much, Jim. We appreciate you calling. Thanks for your story.
Everybody to support the Tampa music scene, and bless you both. Thank you, and 15-minute girl.
There you go. Thanks, Jim. We appreciate you. Thank you for that.
Thanks for the call.
Take care.
Thank you.
New viewer.
New viewer
New fan.
and a new fan.
We're almost out of time.
And we're picking them up each and every week. I know. Where did it go?
I can't believe it.
Listen, for those
That's
of you
right.
that are on the web, stay there because we're gonna wrap this show, and as soon as that little closing credit rolls out, we're gonna come right back live. So if you've got a phone message, a phone story that you want to share with us, bring that back to us as soon as we do the close.
And I'm going to have some popcorn.
Yeah, while we're waiting, while they're
during-
closing
yeah,
the credits.
during the
Now, would
closing
this be a good time to go ahead and let everybody know what we've got about? What do we have left, Mr. Chuck? Do we have about a minute left?
Probably less than a minute now.
Less than a minute? Well, ladies and gentlemen, in honor of those great westerns from yesteryear, let me just say, as I bid you adieu, happy trails to you until we meet again.
It's only next week.
Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then.
Smiling's good.
Who cares about the clouds when we're together?
No clouds here.
Sing a happy song and bring the sun with you when we're together.
Love to sing.
So happy trails to you until we meet again. On behalf of
very good.
Well, I dropped the line there, but anyway, we'll
Good
do it
job,
better on
good
the next.
job.
We'll do it better on the next version.
Howdy, partner.
And I rehearsed all week. Howdy, y'all. On behalf of Tampa Steve, I'm Mario Nunez, and that's the 15-minute girl over yonder. We'd just like to say salud
Yeah.
and happy days. We do love you, Tampa.
We love you, Tampa.
Stay right there. We'll be right back.
And that's a wrap.
Back when we were younger and everything seemed new. We used to have a lot of fun, yes we did. No matter what we do. Sleeping days, long summer nights, going anywhere we pleased. This love I've always called my own, a love that I've always known. The city that I call my home, the home from which I never roam. This love affair was meant to be. Oh, well, I love her and she loves me. Yes, I remember Tampa. She remembers me.
Welcome back, Tampa Native Show fans, to our bonus segment of the Tampa Native Show.
Looks like we're having some bonus popcorn.
Oh,
My name is Mario Nunez,
Yes.
and I got to tell you something. I worked on that song for about the last 3 days. I got the lyrics right here in front of me, and I couldn't have done it any worse.
Yeah, and you thought I was going to mess up.
I was on key. I was absolutely on key. But the words, I don't know what happened. Anyway, Mike Marino, we hear you, brother. We see what your comments over there. We hear you. Next week, we're going to come back strong with a second version of this drive-in feature. Any news from the chat out there, darling?
Just Mike Marino is saying that we should do another show on this one because it's such a good topic.
It is a great topic.
You know what?
It is absolutely a great topic.
Not only that, we have more pictures that we haven't shown yet. We have more stories.
Oh, we've got...
And more fun facts.
Yeah, we've got pictures,
Yeah.
fun facts, and stories, and we kind of knew this was going to happen to us because we remember those good old days back at that other station that shall remain nameless. Our shows, a lot of times, this happened to us.
What's happened several times. In fact, I guess we call this a double header.
Yeah.
There you go.
This is going to be Drive-In Theaters Part 2. And we've got
Double
something.
feature.
Yeah, we've
There
double.
you go.
Oh,
Double feature.
Stevie.
That's it.
Where'd you come up with that one,
Man,
big fella?
I don't know.
Double feature Steve. I'm going to start calling you Double Feature Steve now, man. Forget that Tampa Steve.
Out.
Operators are standing by, callers. So if you're out there and you're still interested in giving us your story, and we know you've got them. Now, a lot of us did watch the movie when we were little. And then, of course, as we got older and we were able to drive, before the advent of tinted windows, we had to tint our own windows or fog our own windows or whatever it was. And, you know, half the time you didn't even stay in the car because sometimes it was warm, it was hot in the summertime. So you got up and you walked around. And it became one of those big, hey, man, where are you going to be parked? And you're parked in the back. And I guess, you know, the young lovers were always parked in the back because they didn't want to be bothered. And the families were up kind of close towards the front. Concession stand was always in the middle with a projection room. And going back to what we saw last night at the Ruskin Family Drive-In Theater, we got a good chance to stand inside the projection room for a good little while, and he explained all the inner workings. I mean, it was an incredible machine, vintage, you know, 1960s. I mean, he said, Ted told us that as other drive-in theaters closed down, he was able to go in and procure spare parts. So really and truthfully, he's got enough spare parts to keep this particular projector working for the next 10 years. The problem is, as he was explaining it, is that everything is going to digital because DBX and Dolby and Panasonic and and Paramount, all the distributors of the actual movies themselves, they're only distributing now in digital format. So he's got a little situation out there that by the year 2013, which is not too far away, he's got to raise somewhere in the neighborhood of $180,000 to be able to go to digital.
Convert over.
And you know, if there was a nicer man in the world who wasn't more dedicated to helping people, I mean, he told us last night that he literally has been in the business so long that he has seen 3 generations. In other words, people our age, Steve, and we're young. People our age who have had children, he knew them, he knew their children, and now he's seeing their grandchildren. That's pretty cool stuff. You know, the 15-Minute Girl and I were really taken with this story, and we're going to see what we can do to bring light to his situation over there, maybe try to help him in any way that we can.
He's a very, very good man.
Very good man.
All he wants to do is help people.
Yep, and that's all he's ever done. I mean, if you couldn't afford to go in there, he would be the first one to be able to let you in, you know, and I mean, he loves what he does.
You know, he may even have some pictures, too, of other...
Oh, I know he does. I know he does.
So,
and we'll let you in on a little secret for those of you that are on the bonus coverage right now. We're probably going to go out there early part of next week and do a little interview with him. He works 7 days a week. We'd love to have him in here so he can tell his stories. But right now, he's running the projector. As a matter of fact, the double feature, the second feature just started. So we can't get him in studio. It opens 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. How about that? Christmas Day, New Year's Day, Thanksgiving. So we're going to go out there and do a little, what we call in the business, B-roll with him, interview him, let him show us everything that's out there, and we'll probably have some pretty good pictures from this coming Saturday's event. So,
yes.
Show of hands out there. Those of you that are watching would like to participate in this Saturday's event out there. We're going to be there. And if you've got a lounge chair, a chaise lounge, or one of those beach chairs with a comfortable little foot attachment, bring that with, because last night the 15-minute girl were in the car, and it was okay, it was comfortable, but I was really envious of the people that were sitting outside their cars, because they were bundled up with their blankets, and under the stars you could still hear, because one thing about it, all the speakers are on throughout the park. So, it's the audio is actually throughout the entire park.
And it's a perfect weather for that, too, to sit outside.
It's nice.
Really
There was
cool.
no mosquitoes, so we didn't really need to fire up the coil. It was cool, so you kind of under the blanket, it was kind of comfy. And then, of course, after the show was over, and we were the last ones, confession, we were the last ones to leave the park. They literally closed the door behind us. We bid him adieu, said, Ted, we'll see you. He closed the gate behind us, and then he went home.
How did it sound on your radio in the car?
We didn't
use
the radio.
We
don't need
old.
no stinking radio, man.
I know, but
we got the speaker.
Just for a couple minutes to hear it, to see how it sounds.
We went old school, but I got to tell you, I had some trepidation. Trepidation. I had that trepidation thing going, because when you pull the big speaker in, it's the old-timey speaker.
You don't want to scratch your window.
Scratch it or just bang the hell out.
Or
bang it or break it. You could break it. So you had to be real careful and place it there. But it worked fine. We had this experience last night. Turn the car off, pull the key out, and the dome light comes on.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it stays on for about 5 minutes until it finally just fades away. That's just, that happens in the new, cars now.
You could tell we were driving novices again.
Yeah. It was.
But it was windows fog up?
No foggy windows.
Well,
I had that question earlier. No foggy windows.
No.
Of course, the windows were open, so they wouldn't have fogged anyway.
Okay, good. Yep, viewers, you can still call in. Please do. It's
give them that number, Stevie.
That number is 813-526-0816, or 15-minute girl. We got any emails at all?
Yeah.
I haven't checked the emails.
Okay.
Could check the emails. Pop that up the tab over there.
Yeah.
See who's commenting. See who's commenting on the Facebook feed.
I've got a feeling we're going to get those pictures. I've resorted to begging now for pictures.
Begging is good. Groveling is good too. Hey, do you have any more fun facts you want to lay on us?
We do. Let's see.
Please. Do you want to see any pictures in the interim? Do you want to? Because we have so many.
We do. Let's show a couple more.
Show a couple more.
In fact, you know what? I think the 15-minute girl can talk about this one because it's Dale Mabry. But we're going to have to.
Maybe talk about your Dale Mabry driving.
You know what, Chuck? Can you skip over and go to 16, 17, 18? Cool. There it is.
Look at that.
Now check this out.
Can I say something before you?
Okay, go right ahead.
I just want to say, the technical team on the other side of that magic door
they're spot on.
They're finding their groove.
They know what they're doing.
Okay, they're getting their groove back. Their mojo is right there. I mean, we call for a picture, bang, there it is. Stevie, take it away.
Well, the interesting thing about this photo here, this advertisement, you got the two theaters. You got the Dale Mabry and the Funland, and obviously the same owner or some kind of a partnership. But check that out. In fact,
Son of Sinbad,
look at the movies. In fact, the movies alone, the titles just take you back in time.
Yep. Rage at Dawn. That's a cowboy movie.
I used to love the Sinbad movies.
Son of Sinbad.
They were so romantic.
The Carnival Story. Here's another one. Look at this, the Dale Mabry Drive-In. If this doesn't take you back, if you're not watching this right now and you're not going, oh my, what a wonderful time in our history that was. It really was kind of cool.
How about that? Is that the title of the movie, Them?
Them. It's just them, exclamation point. What do you think that movie was about?
Us versus them.
And probably with aliens, right?
Aliens. There you go.
Yeah.
Come on, that was Buck Rogers, man. That was, How about this? Dale Mabry again.
A 15-minute girl, because you were a South Tampa girl. Was that your theater of choice?
Dale Mabry was mine. Yes, I also went to the 20th century, but yeah.
Dale Mabry was closer.
Great, yeah.
Now
and it had crushed shell that we walked on.
Ah, okay.
Remember that? That's when you drove in there. And what did they tell us? What did Ted tell us last night? Was it the Hillsborough Theater or the Funland the Funland I think he told us about. That there was at one time in the Funland, they had these 2, 8-ton marine pumps that they had to activate.
Oh, yeah,
Wasn't that the Funland?
Yeah.
Because after certain hard rains, I mean, it wouldn't be a minute before the water level would be up to the speaker pole level.
Oh, wow.
So they had these 2 big, huge marine pumps that they would fire up, diesel pump, and fire them up to pump the water out so that the cars could get in and out safely. Otherwise, they would be underwater. A lot of these, and it was built, he said it was built sort of in a little bit of a swale, a little bit of a bowl, so that the screen was up high, and then the projection booth was up high, but a lot of the cars where they had to park. And if you remember, everybody parked on sort of a little berm. You know, there was a little elevation, so you got to the top of the elevation and you parked there. Your car was angled up toward the screen.
That's a good fun fact.
Last night, thank you for the fun fact. Last night, we didn't quite see that. Last night, everything was more or less flat, but you didn't have any problem seeing out of the car. You just adjusted your seat so you reclined perfectly comfortable. What was a bonus about last night, Stevie? You weren't there to check this out. Ready?
Ready.
If your phone rings, answer it. You're in your car. 1, 2. If you need to say something to the person sitting next to you, just say it. Because it's not like you're in the theater with a lot of other people.
That's right.
I mean, if you need to tell, hey, I'm watching the movie over here. Don't say nothing. Be quiet.
A little more personal, you know, private.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. So we're going to do that this coming Saturday.
It's funny you mention that because in one of the ads, I think it'll be, the next show we'll have to show it, the actual statement says, dress as you like, smoke where you like.
Dress as you like, smoke as you like. Smoke them if you got them. Caller, we see you out there. You're on the air with us at the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, I'm calling for the bonus round with Steve and Mario.
Is this Rose?
This is Rose Duran.
Rose Duran,
what do I
okay.
win? Now,
bonus round, okay, we're on.
hey, you know, Mario, you were talking about the water buildup at the Funland.
Correct.
Well, I tell you what, I remember twice at my appearance when we were driving to the Funland. It was raining so hard, and I think they decided maybe not to go, but we were sort of stuck in the rain. It came all of a sudden. We used to have to pull off because on Hillsborough Avenue, that water, within minutes would get to the door level of the car.
That's what he was saying.
Scary.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was telling us.
That's why they had those pumps there. He literally said that the water, Rose, would get to the level of the speaker box. And, you know, they sit up about 4 foot high.
Yeah, there was a little motel, I remember once, it was called the Peter Pan or something like that near Nebraska or Florida, near the interstate on Hillsborough. And I remember we had to pull in there, and I almost thought we were going to have to spend the night at this little motel. I meant the water just wouldn't go down.
Wow.
But anyway, thanks for the bonus round. You guys have been fun tonight.
No, thanks for being
Thank you
part of
for
it.
being there with us. And the feed is coming through loud and clear. You can hear us good?
Well, you're coming over the phone sort of loud, so I've sort of been talking on the blind spot with you.
A lot of times in this kind of incarnation of our show, as we're doing it online now, it's a little bit different than when we were on TV before. On TV, there was a 7-second delay. It was definitive. Here, the dynamic works a little bit differently.
Right.
But I still think it works best if you leave the room and just kind of talk to us instead of trying to match it to what you see on the screen.
Right.
Yeah, no, not. Oh, you only have you have no second delay anymore?
Yeah, we do have a little bit of a delay.
slight.
It's not quite as dramatic as it was once before. But, you know, with that in mind, we've still been very fortunate that nobody's lost their mind and said something crazy, and we
Well,
I hope I didn't listen to any.
I can't mess up a storm. Oh, gee. All right. No, just kidding.
Thanks,
All right.
Rose.
Hey, Steve Canola, I sent you a message on Facebook, so check it. You guys have a nice night.
Today? Okay, I will.
Thanks,
check it.
Rose. We'll look for it for sure.
Thank you. You know, I have a fun fact about Del Mabry Drive-In.
Hit it, man.
We got another
Let's
fun
go.
fact here.
What are you
Ready?
holding back?
I
The
know,
fun
holding back.
facts, brother. I'm going to eat some popcorn. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Want some Pepsi or Coke?
I'm good.
Okay. Okay, this is interesting. Located in South Tampa, not far from MacDill Air Force Base, the Del Mabry was one of Tampa's largest and finest theaters. This theater had one unique feature you probably would not find in any other drive-in across the country, not just the county.
I know what it was.
The country? You know? Don't.
What
Okay, I won't say it.
Okay.
I won't say it. Okay, let me guess.
Take a guess.
You calling on me?
Yep.
Okay. Ted told us last night that the owner of the Del Mabry Drive-In, if this might be it, the owner of the Del Mabry Drive-In lived in Georgia, and he was a pilot, and he flew his own plane.
Yeah.
And he used to, there was a
That's why they had the shell.
there was a crushed shell strip in the back of the drive-in, and he would literally fly his airplane in, check on his business, check on his property,
And watch the movie.
kind of spin it around, and from the cockpit of his airplane, watch the movie. Did I screw it up?
Ladies and gentlemen, I hate when he's right.
Oh, no, I'm
I hate
sorry.
when he's right.
But that
No,
was so
that's
cool.
true.
That
That's
was
true.
such a cool story. He told us that last night.
But you know, that's pretty cool to have your own theater and your own airplane to drive
on, man.
and watch
Yeah.
it from the actual cockpit
Come
of
on.
the airplane. Wow.
Yep, and he
Okay.
he owns several. He owns several theaters, so that wasn't the only one. I mean,
That's why
he
he
was
needed an airplane.
He was sort of a drive-in impresario
Right.
magnate that throughout southern Georgia and Florida he owned. I mean, didn't Ted say he owned something like 40 or 50? I mean,
Yeah,
he
a
was
lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
was he Floyd?
Okay. I think it was Mr. Floyd.
Might have been Mr. Floyd
I think
himself.
it was Mr.
I bet
Floyd.
it. I bet you.
Yes, I think
was
is.
Mr. Floyd.
Yeah, because it was Floyd Corporation.
And he's Floyd Enterprises, and he's still around. If not the old man himself, his son, and I believe his son took over some of the business.
Well, we've got to wrap this up, but we're going to have a part deux, right, of the drive-ins, deux, D-U-E-X, right? Oh, no, D-E-U-X.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to be coming to you each and every week doing this wonderful show, the
Really
Tampa
is.
Native Show. And we would be remiss, I like that phrase, we would be remiss and derelict, really and truthfully, if we didn't say thank you, a heartfelt thank you to all of our sponsors, the sponsors that you saw there on the credit roll. Also, if you want to get familiar with our sponsors for next week as we open up our new feature online, a Sponsor of the Week game is going to be just like the Bolita drawing. Everything, in fact, will be online starting next week. So kind of get used to that. And our sponsors are on our webpage. You could just click that sponsor tab, correct, Stevie?
That's right. Right.
Click the sponsor tab, and all the sponsors are there. You can click the sponsor
Their
logo,
logos,
and it links to their either
Right.
their Facebook page or their direct website. So
Right.
thank you to our sponsors, without whom we couldn't continue to do this. We really do love you and appreciate you.
Yes, we
We would
do.
be sitting here right now.
Everything worked really good tonight.
Everything worked
Good.
well
The
tonight.
Good to
Bolita
hear.
drawing was really good.
Nice.
Good.
Everyone
So
was participating. And
we-
the viewers make it all
The fans
possible.
are everything.
Always.
Yeah, Stevie says that, and he's 100% right. You know, I'm quick to point out our sponsors are vital to us, but really nobody much more vital than
our fans.
And we love you guys too. So I guess this is a good time to go ahead and close.
Yes, it is.
Do we do salute again?
Yeah, of course
Let's do that. We got to do that.
On behalf of Mario Nunez, on behalf of my partner,
Steve Canella.
and the 15-minute girl who's sitting right over there to our right, we want to say salute.
Salute.
And happy days.
And happy days.
We love you, Tampa.
We love you.
And we'll see you again next week right here at 8 o'clock. Take
And
care.
that is a wrap.
Thank you, darling.
Going anywhere we pleased. This love I've always called my own. A love that I've always known. The city that I call my home. The home from which I never roam. This love affair was meant to be. Oh, well, I love her and she loves me. Yes, I remember Tampa. She remembers me.
Welcome back, Tampa Native Show fans, to our bonus segment of the Tampa Native Show.
Looks like we're having some bonus popcorn.
Oh,
My
man,
name is Mario Nunez,
Yes.
and I got to tell you something. I worked on that song for about the last 3 days. I got the lyrics right here in front of me, and I couldn't have done it any worse.
Yeah, and you thought I was going to mess up.
I was on key. I was absolutely on key. But the words, I don't know what happened. Anyway, Mike Marino, we hear you, brother. We see what your comments over there. We hear you. Next week, we're going to come back strong with a second version of this drive-in feature. Any news from the chat out there, darling?
Just Mike Marino is saying that we should do another show on this one because it's such a good topic.
It is a great topic.
You know what?
It is absolutely a great topic.
Not only that, we have more pictures that we haven't shown yet. We have more stories.
Oh, we've got
and more fun facts.
Yeah, we've got pictures,
Yeah.
fun facts, and stories, and we kind of knew this was going to happen to us because